football late, so she wasn't as refined as the other kids. But I mean, she's not a gump. You know what I'm saying? Like she can move well. She has like good body control and everything, and she's a sponge. And she's only a freshman. Like she'll play behind my two starting middles right now, but yeah. I mean, it'll be two really good players for her to come up under. But if I need to throw her in, I probably could.
Absolutely. Yep. And by the time you would need her, she would be ready. That's amazing.
Yeah. So it should be good. We'll see.
Yeah, I can't wait to watch the videos.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Coach Manny is coming in, and when she come in, we'll get started because it's 7:06. I want to respect folks' time. Let me turn the TV down, my daughter. Coach Manny's in. Yep, she's rolling.
Oh, okay. I'm so sorry that I'm late.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, okay.
It's okay. So thank y'all for being on time. It was my fault. I had some technical difficulties. So Cherie shared her good thing. I always like to start with good things. Megan can share a good thing, and then Coach Manny, and then I'll share something.
The only good thing is there's job possibilities that I can choose from, and they haven't made a choice yet. That's not it.
A good problem to have. Don't forget that.
Yes, a good problem to have right now. So that's where I'm at right now.
Good. Coach Manny?
Something good today. I guess my sister came over. You can hear them. I'm so sorry. Let me go tell them to look.
I love it. Okay, I'll share while she's out. Good thing. Go ahead, Coach.
And I guess she came over. She's very spiritual, so it helps me. I guess in terms of feeling, happy. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, no, I totally get where you're going with that. My good thing would be going to DC at the end of the week. I'm excited about that. A nonprofit is bringing me down. We've been trying to work together for a while. So I'm going to go down, do a little small clinic, and network with some coaches in the DC area. Zuri's going, so that's always fun.
Yeah.
She's excited, so I'm excited. It'll be great. It's going to be a long week leading up to that. So I'll need the rest on the plane. Sometimes that's the only rest I get, to be honest, there and at a hotel. So I'm excited. So we'll roll right into it. The goal for the next 5 weeks, 5 to 6 weeks, because if we for some reason don't get to meet 5 in a row, we'll definitely add one on the end. But I know most of us will be in season. Is to affirm and support each other in becoming elite leaders, in order to give our athletes the best possible student-athlete experience while maintaining a balanced personal life. I said a lot there. Becoming elite leaders, because we know if you're not getting better, you're getting worse, meaning you're not ever staying the same. So always growing, giving our athletes the best possible student-athlete experience. That is our charge with being coaches. It really, truly is. But people have been afraid to talk about you having a balanced and happy personal life while doing that. And I'm not afraid to attack that, because that was not pushed to me as a young coach. That, work really, really hard, do a really good job, but maintain and have a balanced personal life. So I'm all about that. I'm going to bring that up a lot. So before we start, I guess my good thing should have been, well, Cherie wouldn't know this, but going back into coaching in a school setting, at a private school. Coach Manny already coaches there. She coaches middle school as a volleyball and assistant AD. So I'm excited about that. Zuri's going to go to that school as well. And it's 12 minutes from my house. So it was a win-win situation. win-win situation. So I'll get a chance to do some of my consulting stuff as I work that works around that schedule. So no teaching for me. I'm very excited. That is a good thing. I don't know why I didn't say anything. Because we know that I absolutely love teaching. God wasn't wrong when he gave me the idea that teaching was a passion of mine. But I do not enjoy teaching in a traditional school setting, to be honest. So yeah, there's my news.
What did you teach, Coach?
Special ed. I taught credit recovery for 4 years. So I just led a lab and PE. So I was a special ed English co-teacher. So I've taught the very low kids when I was a sub, I've long-term sub people with the feeding tube. But my most experience is being a co-teacher. I was a co-teacher for English. So I love English. I love being a co-teacher. It was just like coaching. It really was. I loved it. It's a ton of paperwork that go with it, very similar to like a social worker. So a lot of data every single day, meetings where you need to compile the data. That part is where it gets really, really muddy, because really with the resources, you're not providing the necessary services that you should. But there is pressure to forge those documents, because special ed are the biggest lawsuits in the public school system, because you got to carry out these things that the school might not necessarily can realistically do, but we've made a promise to parents. It's a very stressful job, to be honest, the paperwork and the legal side of it. But the coaching up kids and helping them catch up to their peers is very fun.
Rewarding, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very rewarding. Okay, so we're going to warm up a bit. I'm going to put you guys in a breakout room for this. It's real quick. You're going to answer questions. The first question: with a partner, describe where you live. With a partner, describe where you live. I'm going to send y'all to breakout rooms. I've never done this from my phone, so I wonder if it's even possible. Don't tell me I can't. It's gonna mess up my plan. But we're gonna be flexible.
I don't really do all the techno stuff, so I'm with you on that one.
And I don't think you can do that on your cell phone. Okay. Real quick, everybody, we'll go through and just do it. We can't go in the breakout room. So just come on real quick. When we chat for these, because it's 5 questions, I want you to please hold your chat to 30 seconds. Some of these will require about 2 or 3 minutes, but 30 seconds, describe where you live. Okay, for me, I live in an apartment. Previously, I would rent a home. I didn't enjoy the parking situation and the closeness of apartments. Pre-COVID, I was looking to be a homeowner, and really chose at the time, really wanted to do entrepreneurship, and thought that was really more important for my home life balance than being a homeowner. So I'm hoping maybe in January to start again. And obviously the increase in home prices is out of my price range. So we're just gonna sit it out and wait until they get affordable. It was one of my goals, going back into a W-2 job as well. Proving self-income and reflecting all that on your taxes is a task. So yeah, that's where I live. It's very quiet. My neighbor has flowers. My neighbor has plants on the stairs. It irritates me so bad. And other than that, I live on the 3rd floor. So me and Zuri have really nice legs because of the climate.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, next.
Okay, I'll go. I currently live in Spring. I live with my boyfriend and my son, who's 15 years old. I want to say it's a misfortune, but it's also a blessing. I had a husband who, he was a police officer. He had an accident. He died in the line of duty. So now, not having him around is actually given us kind of like a different state of mind where we can afford certain things, because I wouldn't go to Northland otherwise, and so now we can afford certain things. So we live in a nice, comfortable home. I mean, it's not humongous, but I mean, it's something that we would have never been able to afford. We do enjoy it here. My son calls it boring neighborhood, but I said, look, we're comfortable, we're safe, and we're So I do coaching because when my
Oh,
husband
no, wait,
died.
Coach.
Oh, okay,
Coach.
sorry.
Oh, no, we got a lot of questions. Just
Oh,
describe where you live.
okay, me again. Were you
No,
not
you're
listening?
good. Go, Cherie.
Oh, okay.
I live in a house in Ada, Oklahoma, where I coach at. It's a 2-bedroom house out in the country. My neighbors have chickens and stuff like that. I do not have chickens. I just got a 90.
Nice. Natasha. Yeah, you don't have to go into specifics. I know went into apartment, but you can just explain it at environment if you want to. I don't want to be like probing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's hot. Hey, Katasha, undo it.
Okay, my bad, my bad. Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. Yeah, so I live, I actually am, I live in 2 different places. So I live, but I split my time between 2 places. One is called Enterprise, Alabama, and one is Selma, Alabama, where I currently work. I live in I call it a castle. It looks different. It's a stucco house in the midst of brick houses. So it kind of looks like houses in California in the midst of houses that are brick. And it's
Okay.
pink. So
Okay, this is wild. How are your neighbors? What's the atmosphere like? The environment like?
the atmosphere, for the most part, is quiet. Mostly everybody is in my area where I live at. They're quiet, they work, they're workers, they work or they're retired. So it's quiet. We did have briefly some people that were not
Okay.
as such. But do you want to, how about the community? You talking about the community also?
Yeah, no, you good. Go ahead, Megan.
Okay.
Oh,
Megan, you on
Lord,
mute.
y'all. We've been
I
on
know
Zoom 4 years.
I
Unmute
know it.
yourself.
Listen, we so used to that.
Megan.
Sorry.
God, take it.
I
Go
swear I
ahead.
thought because I had it on, I forgot I cut it off because people was talking. My bad. Anyway, I live in Wilmington, Delaware. Right now in a apartment style that's kind of like downtown, like in a downtown city. Like I compare it to Dallas. People have visited. I consider it a 1-bedroom, but people don't want to consider it because it doesn't have doors. But it's a 1-bedroom apartment. I love it. It's in the city, but I don't go nowhere. I know that's bad. I should. I have everything seriously, like in walking distance, but I just get it to go and go right back to my place. So that's
Not,
pretty much where I live.
not you live where everything's happening. You just ain't doing nothing.
No, yep, that is correct. And I go
Okay.
right back to my room.
Okay, so we can get to the topic today. I'm gonna have to assign just 2 people to answer the question. The next one, and please volunteer, talk about your biggest challenge in the last year. You
Oh,
got
I'll
1
answer
minute.
that. Okay. Well, my biggest challenge is mental toughness, changing the mentality of where I am, and also and changing generational mindsets, and also changing the dynamic of how women are in athletics. I am, no matter what, I'm an athletic director and I coach and wear many hats. But some people don't respect, they still don't respect it. Even if we're 50 years in Title IX, we still don't, we still have to work hard. We still have to, it's like we still have to be a certain way. And then also being an African-American woman who is one of the only female coaches in my area, it is a challenge to deal with not only your own ethnicity, but also in Alabama. I'm in the South. And so we always constantly having to push and work harder than everyone else. And then the
Okay.
students around. Okay.
Got a
Yeah.
lot. Sorry, Coach.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to attack that one?
I think that for the first time in a long time since I've been away from home, I've dealt with loss. Those who know me, they know I lost both my grandparents or 2 grandparents in the span of 2 weeks. And so, and it was like right at the end of our spring season, like literally it was like back to back. And so that, like, I guess dealing with that, because I've never dealt with loss before, that has been a challenge for me. And but my team has been awesome, like through it all. Like that was fine. But I guess the residual impact of that, dealing with that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. My challenge this year probably was something that's not my issue, but my mom has dealt with addiction previously, and I think COVID obviously heightened that for everybody, the isolation. I stayed with her in between places for like 2 months and realized that it was something that was really growing. And she dealt with that when I was a child. She didn't raise us. So that was a challenge between glad I moved there and recognized it, wanting to help her, but also realizing that it is actually not my fight and that I have a kid. And so having to ultimately walk away from that. She's doing a lot better, but yeah, that was a challenge for me because like I said, when she was really going through that, we didn't live with her. We lived with my grandmother. So watching that play out, man, I have a lot of sympathy for people who deal with people with addictions. Hers is like alcoholism. So yeah, that's my challenge. Describe yourself without using the word coach. Keep that one to like 15 seconds. I'm a challenger of things and people. Describe yourself without using the word coach. Go ahead, coach.
I like to challenge individuals in a positive and athletic or sports oriented fashion, I guess.
Yeah. You don't have to describe coaching, just describe you, the person. Yep.
Oh, okay.
That's okay. Sorry about that. But it's also up to your interpretation when I ask the question.
Okay.
I would say it's probably not the best way to explain myself, but I'm a cocky competitor. in
everything.
In everything.
All right. Anybody else?
I would say I'm a voice of reason and empathetic.
All right. You are, May.
Let me make sure. Okay. I am a motivator, challenge. I motivate, challenge, and inspire others.
Perfect. What skills have you learned in coaching that translate to another skill, to another field? I would say problem solving.
Teamwork. I mean,
there you go.
Communication.
Oh yeah.
Planning.
What you got?
Planning.
Planning.
Yeah, planning. I think planning communication is really high on mine. Dealing with parents. I didn't have to deal with them before. Now it's now that's a real big challenge if they're not happy.
So conflict resolution, conflict management,
Yeah.
absolutely. Sheree, you got anything?
Yeah, I would say probably just balancing everything, balancing budgets, placement, management. My job also directly is like relates to psychology because everything we do has to do with mindset training. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And then lastly, what do you want your legacy to be? Mine, I want my legacy to be that everything I started, I finished, that I stepped out of my comfort zone, that I advocated for women coaches and girl athletes. They got heavy, I know.
I can say for me, whoever I'm around, especially when it comes to players, that I'm making them the best of them, of who they are, and hoping that they proceed to be whoever they want to be in life. So.
Oh yeah, so motivating them to pursue their dream. Yeah, that's awesome. So impact. By the way, get my book, The Influence, The Impact, The Influence. Coach Manny, I have one for you. Go ahead. Anybody else? I'm gonna pull up a list.
Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead.
go ahead, Coach. Go ahead, man. You good.
I want to say that and I know my philosophy is always, I always go like this. I don't know why, but it completes me, is the mind, the body, and the spirit. If we can do that as individuals, we are one. I always say, but I always try to persuade others to put that philosophy into themselves. So if they develop their mind, if they develop their bodies, which is, physically doing things, and also spiritually, I feel like that's one of the elements that even the greatest athletes have. They cannot go with one over versus the other. They always have to have those three. To me, are the essentials for anyone. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. If you develop your mind, your body, and your spirit, you're complete.
Coach, I love that. I love that. Anybody else?
Wherever I am, I have given my all. Wherever I am, I have motivated. I have left my mark. That I have been a role model to female athletes and females around. Also, that I have inspired them to do something in coaching or in athletics. And make
Absolutely.
them up and show them that it can be done. And then also to let them know that I keep God first.
Amen. I love
Amen.
it. That's our charge for all of us, whether we want to or not. But we are definitely leaving either a positive or negative. I'm sorry, I'm losing the word, but we also got to be an example so that those girls that want to get interested in coaching, that they want to pursue that because of the way we did our job or our calling. So absolutely, that's all of our charge. Anybody else?
I said that I would like to leave a legacy for success, but not just in like a wins and losses sense, more so young girls and young women, not even girls anymore, training up young women, like Megan was kind of saying, to be the best version of themselves, but also like success in the classroom, success with learning how to interview, success with learning how to balance a budget, success in love life, success on the court, off the court. Those are all things I like. Getting invited to weddings and getting baby shower invites. So that's a big deal for me, and so that's the legacy that I want to leave.
Yeah, your legacy is directly tied to my mission for the female minority coach, especially Coach Manny. I do a lot of work mostly with minorities, if you haven't noticed, women of color. And it was to become an elite leader. We care about winning and being a great leader, but give our athletes the best possible student experience. That's how you get invited to baby showers and weddings, right? They're not going to invite you there if you didn't give them the best experience. And then maintain a balanced personal life. We want to show them you can be married, you can be dating, you can spend time with your kid, you can take amazing vacations, right? You can go and get your hair done, your nails done, and still be this fierce coach on the sideline coaching them up. So that's exactly what it's about. Those are really good, y'all. I got a little emotional there. Y'all got me fired up. We're gonna do our core value list, and you've probably done this exercise multiple times, but consider that it has changed since the last time you did this, and that it should change. So think about this group you're gonna coach this year. We don't know them yet, right? You know them. Sorry, you know them. You might get a few surprises if you're not at the college level, but when I go through this list, you're going to write out your core values. And then we're going to start thinking about, in the first week that we meet with them, how will we act out these personal values? So we're going to go that deep with this. So I'm going to list some. If you don't hear your favorites, add them. I'm going to start talking. I'll try to talk slow, but you're going to pick 7. You ready? Authenticity, achievement, adventure, authority, autonomy, balance, beauty, boldness, compassion, challenge, citizenship, community, competency, contribution, creativity, curiosity, determination, fairness, faith, fame, friendships, fun, growth, happiness, honesty, humor, influence, inner harmony, justice, kindness, knowledge, leadership, learning, love, loyalty. I'm gonna skip down. Wisdom, wealth, trustworthiness, status, success, stability, spirituality, service, self-respect, security, responsibility. Peace, pleasure, poise, popularity, recognition, religion, reputation. What did I say? 7? Let's get 7. Zeke, can you bring mommy a pen off the tape, my desk? Can you bring me a black, one of the new pens I just bought off my desk, Siri?
Did you want us to name those? You put yourself on mute.
Not yet, Meg.
No, I already got it.
Give me a thumbs up when you've got your 7. Perfect, perfect. Awesome. Cut that list down to 5. Get rid of 2 of them. And really, really think and lean in on what's going to be the most important. Siri, grab me a pen, please. If you can, might not want to. It's a black pen. I just bought some. I put them in the cup. If you can, and you have to for this, take it down to 3. Narrow it down to 3. 3 you just can't live with. You can't live without.
Okay, there we go.
When you're ready with your 3, give me a thumbs up.
All right, here we go. About knob down. I had to put that knob down. I'm gonna have trouble. I mean, I might have to restart my time.
Okay. Wrap that up. Now, it's week 1. You're meeting your players. You're going to start working out. How do you give me very specific examples of how you are going to implement your core values in those first few interactions with them? I don't care if it's a team meeting, if it's how a rule you're going to set about the locker room, anything you're going to implement, do, where your core values going to show up. How do we make these things live and real and tangible?
I'm tearing these guys up at the same time, you guys.
Well, again, from me, I'm gonna give you my 3 where it's commit, accountable, and determined. And they have to be committed. They have to be committed. I have a very young team, committed to what they're doing. And so, some of them are going to rely on their parents, but they have to be committed to the program and be committed to stay and learn in this program.
What does that look like? You live in an area with challenges. Me and you've talked several times.
Right.
Some of them rely on their parents. So what does commitment look like for a kid that has a below average parent, not really committed? You're in a poor area. What does that look like? And how do you talk to them about commitment, knowing what you know about your area?
Well, you put it in place about being late. You put your standards in about being late, and having consequences. And you have, I ain't gonna say you have rewards, because I don't think that they're not a dog, just because you do something right, you don't get a treat, but hey, good job, you came to practice, you know, especially like the first 3 weeks, but encouraging them when they are doing something, but not treats, but commitment, and letting them know, they're signing in, they have to be, and holding them accountable of that, and then letting them know that if you're not here, there are consequences, there are rewards to what's going on. Rewards is you get more playing time. Reward is that, you understand what's going, once you start understanding what's going on and it's time to play, you get on the floor. Because I'm going to trust that you're here. I'm
Okay.
depending on you to be here. Mhm.
Okay, love it, Coach. Anybody else?
So mine's is faith, success, and fun. I'm gonna put faith, like in trust the process, faith in yourself, faith in your the staff, and if you have faith in what we have in there, then success will come. And while we're being successful, we will have fun at it, because at the end of the day, you chose volleyball because you love it and that you want to have fun with that. So those are my 3 things.
I love that, Megan. Faith in yourself, faith in the process, faith in your teammates. I love that. Faith in your coach. Love it. Thank you. Can anybody get a little more specific? I'm gonna go and see. I might have went a whole nother direction, but that's the beauty of this. So if I put community, and community, a phrase I use is together we're better. And as an adult, I can think now that I'm kind of getting back to community. Like with working out, I go to group classes, because when I think about it, since I picked up a basketball as a first thing, it was about the community. That's the part that you miss, that you have individual goals, the group has goals, but everybody's like pushing each other. You're not on your own. You're not on your own to manage challenges. The community is an accountability system. That's probably why I love this so much. It reminds me of being in the team. So community service, it's not about you. What can you do for your teammates? So I'm going to remind my players that when you're not on, you should think about your teammates and how you can help them do well in a game when you're not doing your best, when you're tired from conditioning. It's not about your feelings. Push through, because you need to do this for your teammates. It's for the betterment of the whole. If everybody serves each other, they say that with marriages, right? If both people are serving each other, there's no 50-50, everybody's 100%. So when I think about everybody considering the other parties involved, I think that's going to make for great team culture. That's going to cut down very bad decision making. That's going to cut down building up that and emphasizing the sense of community is going to help people not alienate themselves by being toxic and being cancers before they think to blame another student or talk about their teammate or their coach to their parent. They really think about all that they're losing with that sense of community. Maybe those things help kids not to quit, right? And I didn't get to my third one, but somebody else go.
I said that, so mine are challenge, leadership, and accountability. In my program, we always talk about loving up a challenge. Like on the back of my it's just being uncommon. Don't be what people expect you to be. So I do that. I say that because, sorry, my dog. I say that because when people come into my program, we have to first establish the trust between me and them. I know that doesn't come right away. They know obviously I recruited them, but they don't know me as a person. And so it takes a while to build up that trust, which is completely understandable between us and them. So giving them that sense of security and knowing like, hey, I'm going to be here for you. None of my players are from Oklahoma. I'm not from Oklahoma. So knowing that, hey, I'm taking you out of your comfort zone. I'm taking you away from home. I have your back no matter what. But aside from that, so that's the big circle. But then the smaller circle is the team, and they have to have each other's back. So that's when we kind of feed into that, like being bold in who you are. Like, don't ever dim your light for somebody else. You command attention when you walk in a room, no matter what. You are a presence, you're a force. That is the type of thing, that's the type of athletes that I want. I don't want you to be afraid to be yourself. in order to play at the highest level, you have to be able to, in order to compete at your highest level, you have to feel that comfortability. If you pretending to be somebody that you're not, you're never going to play at your highest level. So we have to foster that type of an environment for them. That also feeds into the accountability piece, because in their own tribe, which is the team, which is usually me on the outside, and they probably have a group chat where they talk about me, which is fine. They also hold each other accountable, but it's never with malicious intent. So again, we fit back into the trust piece of, I trust you enough to know that you're not coming at me with malicious intent. Yes, it's in the heat of the moment, it's in the heat of the game. You're holding me accountable. I need to do the same thing for you. And so that kind of thing just kind of fosters in and then goes into responsibility and what you're responsible for. So that's why those are my three, because they just tie into everything that is my team.
I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to put you on the spot. Coach Manny will go. Cherie, give us an activity. If you're all about athletes being bold, give me an activity you would do the beginning of the season that encourages them to be bold and be bold in who you are. I'm going to come back to you. Coach Manny, go ahead.
The three that I chose were challenge, leadership, and responsibility. I coach in the middle school level, so the majority of them, either half of them, are barely starting to join sports, to get involved, to get active. So I want to introduce something that it's gonna challenge them, because other than that, like if there's no challenge, it's kind of boring for them. So I try to include the challenges always within you. You challenge yourself. Leadership, I want them to see themselves as leaders, because if all these schools, if everybody joined a sport, then, it would be easy. The leadership comes when you join and you're showing that leadership. You're standing out, you're practicing, you're doing extras. So in that sense, you're a leader. The responsibility comes to putting in the work, like the other coach said about, hey, you're tardy, you're going to be responsible for that. You're not going to get enough playing time if you don't show up to practice. You're not being responsible. So because there was a long list, coach, but those were my three. It's hard to pick out of your list.
No, you did great. When I think about middle school, when I was a high school coach that want middle schools to feed in, that was perfect to understand how to attack a challenge and realize most of the challenges you against yourself, you versus you. Then leadership, we want to get them used to the idea that you are not the average student. There's things that come with that require leadership. And then responsibility, they can't keep up with nothing. And I'm like, dude, what are they doing at the middle school? We can't be reissuing this stuff. It's cost money. I didn't bring my jersey. I'm like, y'all are 5. You're 14. That's perfect. I love that. We're going to be in good hands. Good job. All right, Cherie, give me an activity.
Well, we do what I call Tell the Truth Mondays. It's basically a point where if something happened, or if something's going on, or if say we had a game on Saturday and something were to happen in that game, it's kind of almost like an opportunity for them to kind of call each other out. But again, like we talked about, no malicious intent behind it. But we obviously don't want to tackle a situation in a game in the middle of a game, or whatever the case may be. I usually miss all that anyway. But for them, it's an opportunity for them to kind of talk things out, to tell each other that if something's going on with them. We have to break the mold of there being weakness and vulnerability. And my team is extremely vulnerable with each other. We train in vulnerability. That's a big piece of it. And so there's times when they'll call each other out. There's times when they're just like, I'm having a rough time. And then they have teammates there to kind of help them through that. There's a lot of work that leads up to that, because obviously it's not easy to take like everything with no malicious intent. If someone tells you that you're doing something wrong, nobody wants to hear that they're doing something wrong. Sorry, my dog has a squeaky toy. It's about to get loud. But so that's a big a big part of it. But that's just one thing that we always do. We focus on deep breathing. But if you're going to be bold and you're going to be yourself, in order to play at your highest level, you have to be comfortable. So if you're middle, like I have a middle, her name is Alani. She is a big personality. She's from Kansas City, Missouri, and she has a big personality. But sometimes her personality can come off as abrasive if you don't know her. And so there have been a couple of times on Tell the Truth Monday where people have told her, like, hey, like, when you did this, it kind of hurt my feelings. We just kind of kept it rolling. But like, I guess but she had to learn to take feedback from the team, but as well as like, say, hey, like, y'all have to give me some grace too, and understand that, yes, while I do have this big personality, I'm not trying to make you feel inferior, make you be sad or nothing like that. There's no crying in volleyball. And so, you know, but it's kind of like, it's a give and take type of thing, but I found that it's been really successful for the team.
Man, that is giving them an incredible skill set, because you're going to work in groups the rest of your life, believe it or not. That is an incredible skill set that they're gaining from being able to be a problem solver, be an active listener. And then you said something, I wrote it down, break the mold that there's vulnerability and weakness. Because to be honest, we say we have an open door policy with athletes, and we will say, you know, in this culture, you can talk to somebody, but to be honest, to go and say that something hurt your feelings, now we can say something pissed us off. We got that down. Hey, that pissed me off. But to say what it really is, because usually I think we were talking to a therapist and she said anger is the tip of the iceberg, but below that is hurt feelings and sadness. What you said hit something in me that kind of hurt. And it's probably gonna manifest as anger. But to say something at the lower level, the bottom of the ice, you know, the volcano or whatever, the iceberg, is what Tell the Truth Monday is about. We want to get it before it's that angry. You're hurt right now. If you just say that, we'll be finding it won't get to anger. It's really, really good. Thank you for that. That was awesome. This is the last thing, and I'm going to introduce this to you guys. I had a bright idea. Y'all might not agree with this, but what I thought about was, you guys know I do like the co-author books, and they're really popular because they're short reads and you get all these different stories. But I thought about in these 5 weeks, I'm going to create a Google Doc. Every time we end, we're going to share a leadership lesson learned. And we'll see what that document looks like at the end, and maybe we can turn it into something to publish on a small scale. So everybody will share a leadership lesson learned. You'll have about 2 or 3 minutes to share it. But I'm going to send you the Google link. I want you to expound when you get a moment during the week and type up what you said on the call. And we're going to see what we have at the end of this 5 or 6 weeks. I'm excited. There's some projects out that are like that, some books, but I think it'll come from so many different perspectives. Obviously, one of the perspectives is going to be the coach of color, the woman of color. So think in terms of leadership lessons you've learned from being, like Coach Katasha said, she's a Black woman in the South in leadership. So she's Black and she's a woman in the South, in Alabama. And she's the only coach. The school has male coaches, but even some of the female sports. So think about leadership lessons learned, and I'll send some more details about how we could turn that into something that we disperse. So leadership lessons learned. Whoever's ready to share, go. And I made myself be on the spot. I have not given it any thought. I'm going to give it thought now.
I would like to say, I don't know if, you know, I'm writing these down. I'm going to learn as I go too. So Tell the Truth Monday, I feel like something to encourage them to unite. But sometimes I think we ourselves are our own worst enemy and critic. So I do this thing with the girls where I have them either put it on a poster board or put it somewhere where they actually tell me, what are you good at? Like in general, in your life, you're good in art, you're good in, you know, whatever it is, in whatever aspect of your life, but then also tell me what you need, you know, that your weaknesses are. And then I have them look in a mirror and they're telling it in front of the team, they're telling each other themselves, I'm good at this. And this is what I need to work on too, you know, because that's the weaknesses part. We all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. So to me, I think that's
So
one of
in terms of
the big,
leadership, is your lesson, you learned as a leader that people are their own worst enemy? Because we're
yeah.
talking about you as a leader. Yeah. Okay.
Well, me, I want them to understand that everybody is flawed. Even a leader, even as a leader, we can still be leaders with strengths because that's what we're leading, but we do also have our weaknesses that we need to work on. And I feel like if I push that, like, yes, we're gonna screw up on a game, but that doesn't make us, we don't lose. So like, I'm trying to
Okay.
encourage them through that aspect, is seeing themselves, like, how
Okay.
can you help the team, with
Okay.
that?
I want to give a little more context. If we were writing this book for adults, we're talking about leadership lessons learned. So leaders will read the book, right? We're giving lessons to leaders. But
I would
Coach,
say-
you
Oh, sorry.
mentioned too in there, leaders have flaws. So you good. Go ahead, Meg.
I would say for me, whatever you're passionate about or desire of, don't lose your voice with that. So what I mean is, for me, in your job, people will try to push you, try to silence you, especially like you said, as a Black woman. Stick with it. If that is passionate to you, if that's what you want to change, if that's what you feel like it is, sometimes you might push some toes, so step on some toes. Sometimes you might not like it, but stay with it, especially if you know it's true to yourself and it's needed. So I would say learning as a leader is don't lose your voice, that people will try to silence you, but you got to still, if it's something important in your heart, still stick with it regardless. So
Yeah, that's a big lesson. I would say early in my career, sometimes you hear things through your trauma. We only think about that in terms of romantic or friend, platonic relationships. But even as a coach, you really need to work through trauma, because when you go into coaching, you can't make everybody happy. So people are going to be expressing their opinion about the decisions that you make, whether that's administrators, players, parents. You need to have already dealt with some things that you might have not dealt with, because you're going to hear that feedback through the trauma, right? Any trauma you might have dealt with as being maybe a woman and you haven't been heard, that may cause you to come off as very aggressive. So I think because every day is going to be about solving problems and conflict management, you got to come with trauma free. You got to already have brought those things to the surface. What sets me off? What really jabs at me? What really hits something with me? And why does it? Oh, you know what? My dad, when he would do this, oh, I was the youngest child in my family. Nobody ever listened to my ideas. These coaches, this principal, this AD, that's why they don't want to listen to me. This is happening again, right? No one listens to the younger child. Or I was the only girl and it was all boys. And I've been fighting to prove myself forever. So a lot of how you respond to conflict, which it's coming every day, is because of your past experiences. So a leadership lesson for me is go dig that stuff up before you go work with children, before you go lead other people. Two more people, I think, gotta go.
For me, whatever I tell my players to do, I do it as well. And so in order to lead them successfully, I have to basically be what I'm asking them to be. I have to emulate that, which is, again, we're holding ourselves to a higher standard. And so if they see their coach going out and doing stuff that I ask them not to do, well, why would they take what I have to say serious? Little things, like the smallest things that I feel like a lot of them have never had a coach do. Like for me, it's the bonnet thing. You will not wear a bonnet when you're on the road with me. It drives me insane. It's a no-go for me. Like when we're traveling, we look put together. We do, like, you look like you're going somewhere. I mean, even when we do team meetings, they have to come dressed in business casual attire because it's an interview for you. And so I want to lead by example to start. But I think another big thing of leadership that people tend to forget is understanding that when you are a leader, you're still going to make mistakes, and you have to be continuing to learn. So for me, like, I make plenty of mistakes, and those mistakes are usually followed with an apology to my team, and understanding like, hey, like, yeah, I kind of messed that up. And so I apologize for that, because I could have done a much better job at that, because we never say this is good or bad. We always say what we did well, what we could do better. And so that's a big piece for me is taking ownership for the decisions that I make, because they're behind me and I'm leading them somewhere. And so we all going down. And so just apologizing and being that leader that I want them to someday be.
Yeah, we're leading them somewhere. We are. Make sure it's to the right place. Absolutely. Patasha, did you go yet?
What you need me to
Okay.
say?
Oh,
About the activity?
oh, no. You good. You good. So next 5 weeks, we'll roll into, I took these notes somewhere. We'll roll into, well, you guys can give me, I have so much content. You can give me some topics you'd like to explore that you just don't hear when you're in these type of settings. Some that you do, but you'll be able to expound and get some practical stuff here. So just do some topics real quick. I'll let you guys go at 8. Things to discuss. And we're fortunate, all of us, we're our volleyball. Sometimes that's not the case. I encourage every sport, but it always ends up being mostly volleyball. So topics to discuss on here. I know practice planning, Cherie did a really good practice planning lesson for me, shoot, maybe a year ago. But we can go into practice planning. Other topics, think about stuff that, I don't know, going into the postseason, what should your training be like? What should you be saying? Try to think outside the box. What are some topics? We got 4 more meetings.
I guess you can say is with practice planning, what if it doesn't go the way it goes? How can you pretty much get back on track? If something like how we plan everything and from the T of how it goes, and just for some reason in the middle, it just goes south. How do you get back on track? I guess that would be a cool conversation.
Okay. What if what you're planning is not going well? How do you get them back? Okay, that's good.
One could be how to deal with challenging parents.
Oh, yes.
I can't hear. I'm getting some feedback.
How to deal with challenging parents.
Okay.
I would say teaching athletes to reframe negative thoughts, the successful way to do
I
that.
can't. Cause somebody's giving me some feedback. Can everybody mute but Cherie?
I can hear the feedback too. I would say teaching athletes how to reframe negative thoughts, because I have a whole thing for that. It's a whole spreadsheet on how to do that, which I think might also help Megan if with the practice times or the practice, if it goes off hidden, there's like a way to kind of reel it back in through reframing positive or negative thoughts and turning them into positive outcomes. So I think that would be a good thing to talk about, because we all go through it. We all have negative thoughts, but how to reframe it and get back on track is the challenge there.
And it's so good to go into the season with a plan, because that's how you just run off the plug in a halftime, a between sets speech or a pregame or postgame, because they're feeling as bad as you are about the loss and that they didn't produce at the level you thought. And all this stuff's going on. If you say the wrong thing, you lose the locker room. I love that. And then I love that. So I'm glad you got the spreadsheet. You can share that with us.
Yes.
A few more things. I love all of these. I'm sure everybody's challenges to, once I send you guys the 4 topics we need to settle on, and we can double up, because we're gonna have to go the hour. 5 meetings is not long, 4 meetings is not long. Always bring your resources so we can share screen, or bring a Google link or whatever, so you can share that resource. What else?
I think to me, how to coach over anxiety. I think, in the younger level, it's more prevalent than in the older, I guess, I don't know, depending on COVID or how they, interacted during COVID. But I think anxiety is so high, and the socializing when they are not very social, and to me, I think I don't really know how to deal with that. I just kind of like put it to the side. I know it's there that they have these anxieties, but I just kind of let them work through it. I don't really know what's the
Yeah.
proper way to do it, you know?
Oh,
Like
yeah. So,
I don't
yeah,
know.
we got you. Cherie has some tools. I do the mental stuff. So we got you. We'll definitely go with that because that's stuff you're going to need that first week. You have no idea. You're a total stud in practice all week, first week or first 2 weeks of training. Might be the very person you get to game one and it's like, dude, I didn't recognize you. Like, what? That's the case I saw at the college level. We got them ready, they were in shape, but there was some kids we was like, whoa. And you can think we had no way of knowing, but it also, as I talk about extreme accountability for coaches, it also goes back to there had to be, it was my responsibility to implement some way in practice that I found out or I knew that this player had anxiety. It still goes back to me. If they get to set one and bomb it, I'm still going to take responsibility. It's not like, oh, this kid is just like really anxiety. I don't know what we're going to do. That means in practice right now that you know this, we've brought this up, you got to have a way that you find out who's going to have anxiety, performance anxiety. You got to find that in practice. You got to create the environment that their anxiety will get high and you'll be able to see it. And then you'll use the tools you have before they go to a game and totally freeze, serve under the net, forget who they subbing in for, all kind of stuff. So yeah, we got a lot of stuff for that. One more. Anybody got anything? If not, we're good. I'll send y'all a list of topics. Final thoughts. Keep it to 20 seconds if anybody got anything.
Just in case, I know people's life gets busy. Good luck to everybody in season. Like they say, just know that we all here. Well, at least I can be here for everybody. I wish you all the best in everything you do. Please understand that you're good coaches and that you're great and that you're doing. And if you care enough for kids, then my thing is you always prosper. So that was it.
Amen.
I know they say it's all about, this saying is it's about the kids. We do it for the kids, but we also do it for each other as adults, and we have to support each other as adults because we are, like Megan said, we are with these kids, but we have to support and find the balance for ourselves, especially as women, because we can carry a lot on. And so in the way of this world, just learning how to balance, and much success to everybody. And just keep, as I say, be a diva, be big, and believe in greater, that you are greater than what you're doing.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Is that it? I think I got everybody's email. Cherie, if you could text me yours, that'd be great. I enjoyed it. Bring some folks on. Like I said, we got 4 meetings coming up. I'm ambitious. I'm flying back next Sunday, so I'm expecting to win. So let's say no airport hiccups will happen. I'll be in my house at 7 by 7. Okay, let me write that down, Cherie. So we are claiming that. I'll be back. Oh shoot, let me go back to that real quick, and I'll let y'all go. At ECOK.edu. All right, see you next week, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I enjoyed it. I got 2 pages of notes.